warm welcome to the program. As you know, this is Red Ice Creations Radio, and I am your host, Henrik Palmgren, and we are coming to you from the west coast of Sweden, up in Scandinavia. And we are at the edge of November 2007 already. I'm glad you're here, and tune in either through our website, redicecreations.com, or through our podcast or some other way. Either way, it's good. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to have a book tips program, basically. We have AJ Bruno from oneheartbooks.com back on the program. We had AJ with us in July this year and did a two-part program on mind control, EMF weaponry, and much more. And that program is available, by the way, in our archive for everyone that missed that show. And for today's program, AJ have picked out a few books, a few recommendations that we're going to talk more about. We're mainly going to focus on three books, three different titles. First, we have Michael Hoffman's Secret Societies and Psychological Warfare. We have Mustafa Gedalla's The Ancient Egyptian Roots of Christianity. And we also have Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, that we're going to talk more about. So I want to say welcome to our guest again. Hi, AJ. Good to have you back on the program again.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be here.
How are you, and how are things going over there at oneheartbooks.com?
Yeah, things are going real good. Sales have picked up since the show I've done with you. I've done a few other shows on some other radio shows that go out over the net. Yeah, things have been going good. It's been keeping me busy. Excellent.
Sounds good. Again, I'm glad to have you back. I think we can begin here today and talk about Hoffman's book, Secret Societies and Psychological Warfare. I've been going through a few chapters in this book, and what I found very interesting was that he wrote about in the initial pages about the Millennium Celebration that actually took place 1 year too early. You know, the whole thing that the new millennium actually begins in 2001 and not 2000. Anyway, he wrote a little bit about Arthur C. Clarke and Kubrick's 2001 and tied this together with that mysterious monolith that popped up in Magnuson Park in Seattle, apparently just a few hours into the new millennium in 2001. He also mentioned the new, emerging transgenic sciences that now seems to be kind of merging with so many other fields of basically weird science and magical technology, something that we've been following with great interest on Red Ice Creations for a while now. So I found that book very interesting, and I'm looking forward to reading more from it. But I want to know a little bit about what you think about the book, AJ.
Yeah, I think this book is extremely key because of the insight that he brings to the whole agenda and how it's unfolding in regards to this end scenario that they're looking to manifest through creation, or through the creation of what they call the new man. And you have the beast man, and he talks about the psychological aspects of how they're going about doing this through influencing the subconscious of the masses.
Yeah.
And he calls that the revelation of the method, which I believe he'd taken from James Shelby Downard, was the one who coined that this whole term here, the revelation of the method. Yeah, but it's really an important book, because I think one of the things that he points out in it is that most people who are into this research believe that it's just the exposure that's enough with all this, and he says that's not the case, because eventually, as he states on the one page here, that so page 17, he makes a reference to this Rosicrucian manifesto called the Confessio Fraternitatis, which means confession of the laudable fraternity of the most honorable order of the Rosy Cross. And he says that when we reach this point where we're at now, this 2001, and makes reference to Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey,
yeah,
that we're entering into this, what he calls a hermetic game of hazard or chance, 21.
Yeah.
And that they would want to expose themselves to the public and do it in such a way that they're ritually bound. So that when they come out and have all this, have the people know what's going on, that the people feel that there's nothing they can do, that they're trapped into this thing.
What you're saying here, AJ, is that people actually could break out of it, but they had this psychological hold on people, meaning that they can't or don't dare to break out, right?
Yeah, it's a jip. I mean, it's a mind game, a trick that people are, being led into.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's what that is. It's really about perspective. I find with all this research, it's about the perspective and insight and having an understanding of it. Exposure is certainly not enough here.
You're saying that
it's the whole. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just was going to say you're saying that exposure is kind of the first level, and then you need to go further.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely. And when you get into exposure, you better have a whole picture there. You just can't play these limited hangout type of games and not consider certain things, which
sure.
what some researchers out there do. That they won't touch certain subjects, and sometimes I feel it's very telling when you have researchers who aren't willing to go and discuss certain areas that are definitely there. The facts are there to prove it. Sure.
I mean, again, it's obviously everyone can't touch upon everything, and there is just not enough time, considering that there is so much information out there. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, some people do what they do, and they do that very well. But I guess on a personal level, if I'm interpreting this right, what you're saying here is that it's important also to take one step further, or being willing to broaden your horizons, basically.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if you're thinking about playing a game of chess, you're going to have to watch the whole army of your opponent. Because if you're just watching half of it, or this piece or that piece, then you're going to get hit with another piece from another end. And I think that's the thing that has to be understood here.
Mm-hmm. So Hoffman dives a little bit deeper into this, I guess, and takes it to the next level, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. He gets into what we mentioned, the revelation of the method. And let me see here. I'll read a little bit from the book here, where he has a section titled Mind Control and the Revelation of the Method.
Mm-hmm.
It is here necessary to point out a fallacy which has succeeded in defeating many genuine ecological rebels against modern tampering and the occult philosophy and organization which powers it. These are a rare breed to begin with, since the vast majority of researchers who start out in search of the truth about these big themes and, like so many other avant-garde thinkers and activists, succumbing to the egregious tyranny and mind mapping that lurks beneath the facade of the liberal cult operation. But if you escape this net only to blunder blindly into another, they become trapped in the fallacy that exposure of the methods and personal involved in the cryptocracy's crimes is, by itself, a tremendous step toward overthrowing the power of the cryptocracy. If only we could get some of the facts out in the open as their refrain, I would reply that the process of hermetic cryptocracy is not stagnant. It is engaged in a remarkable project set into motion millennia ago, an operation which has accomplished most, if not all, of its chief goals with masterful dispatch. In the beginning of the Middle Ages of this operation, the hoodwink was a key to accomplishment of objectives. Generally speaking, deception is far less necessary today. Quite the contrary, the cryptocracy has actually been determined to reveal many of its greatest secrets to us, profane ones, for some time now. Veteran independent occult investigators were astonished at the massive disclosure in the 1970s of some of the deepest and most profound secrets of the Masonic Neoplatonic Hermetic Academy. secrets reserved in some cases for thousands of years for only the highest initiates. Two books by the English writer and Ordo Templi Orientis initiate Kenneth Grant, the previously cited Magical Revival, and Aleister Crowley and the Hidden God, and another by the aforementioned Robert K.G. Temple, The Serious Mystery, revealed secrets of the highest magnitude which have been vigorously protected and hidden at some cost to human life for centuries. And in the case of Temple's book, Millennia, these books are published with the knowledge and approval of the Masonic Hermetic heirs to this knowledge. Independent researchers have seldom noted the significance of these revelations coming from occult groups and even advertising agencies which, in a demonstration of a macabre nose-thumbing at our complete indifference to our mental enslavement, have actually pointed to the subliminals in their own liquor ads. These actions signal our entrance into an entirely different era of alchemical process. In the brilliant wordplay of the mythical Masonic figure Dr. Syntax, we come to the current enfoldment in Must Be, an alchemical cant language code. Term Mr. Downward translates as the revelation of the method. This alludes to the process wherein murderous deeds and hair-raising conspiracies involving wars, revolutions, decapitations, secret archaeo-astronomic deity cult worship, and every manner of horror show are first buried beneath a cloak of secrecy, and then, when finally accomplished and secured, slowly revealed to the unsuspecting populace who watch, deep frozen, as the hidden history is unveiled. In the circulation of anti-Academy manuscripts, the revelation of the method is accomplished. Truth or consequences. Downward is acutely aware that in exposing the conspirators, he is probably serving the final dictum in their alchemical formula.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Indeed. I just punched up James Shelby Downward here. As a reference that you mentioned here, and you're right, he wrote that King killed 33 Masonic symbolism in the assassination of J.F. Kennedy. And he also has an interesting other thing here. He mentions, and I know that Hoffman talks about this, something they call the Twilight language. Have you heard about this?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting. Is this, especially in the last paragraph that you read there, I guess that would be referring to what is known as the Twilight language, about the occult symbolism that is going on, out in the open, basically, and those who can read that language, understand it, and knows what's going on, I guess.
Yeah, he uses the Jack the Ripper murders, the Son of Sam, the serial type of killer murders as examples to explain this Twilight language and all the little symbolisms and things like that are placed and covered in the media when these things unfold.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the one, the shooting that went on at Virginia Tech.
Sure.
That Twilight language was there with the 33 total dead and
that's right.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's right. The question is, though, I guess, what one wonders when you hear something like this is, I wonder if this always has been going on, but the fact that we actually do have a totally different structure of how information is disseminated now, and we have a lot of reporters, the entire globe is filled with news agencies and reporters everywhere, and this is the fact that this comes through the news wires, all of these events, and those who can read the language and know the numbers and so forth, to them this is like, shit, they're doing it